Here so you can read it as well.
For what?
For loud sound making devices that are being amplified over 100 feet, disturbing this giant.
Oh, wow. So did you take an oath or not?
I did. This is your second offense?
Yep.
Okay, it's $200.
Yep.
It's been explained to you already.
All right, so did you take an oath to the Constitution? And the Constitution, what says free speech?
Officially trespassing this property.
For what?
Violation of rule number 10 on our
What is that?
thing. Read it there. It's disturbing the county business.
So that's it? I got it? Look at that, man. Wow. So you're going to go to court for killing free speech. That is awesome, man.
With Management Event Center,
Yes.
because of the disturbance that you're causing because of your signs,
Yes.
and the complaints that you're getting trespassed from the event center for a period of 1 year.
Corporal Chris Rentis, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. I am looking to make contact with the Andrew Sheets living here at this residence. We have some paperwork on behalf of Charlotte County to serve Mr. Sheets, and he needs to be provided a copy of these items here. Can you give me Sheriff's Office a call? My name is Corporal Chris Rentis. And again, we have paperwork for Andrew Sheets. Thank you.
All right. So, Andy Sheets, thank you very much for taking your time to do this interview. We know that you have certainly been shaking things up in Punta Gorda, Florida, and I plan to get in depth with you on several topics. But I first want to ask you the question that I ask many activists in the leadoff question, and that is, what is it in particular that lit your flame and compelled you to be an activist?
10 years ago, I sadly had a bad neighbor that turned into a stalker, and the Charlotte County Sheriff that was helping me, I thought he was helping me, and I took him to court for stalking, and I didn't have a lawyer because I thought I had a good enough case. He got a lawyer, and he got the deputy to flip, and they dropped the case, and that woke me up right there, and I found out about Florida records request, which is our sunshine law. And right. I found out, just like, as you know, as a reporter, you can uncover a lot just by pulling records. And that's what I started doing.
Yeah, right. So let's break that down a little bit. So you had somebody, you said, who was stalking you,
correct,
neighbor, and
correct.
It was in your belief that that case would move forward, perhaps a jury trial, a conviction, but at least something other than a dismissal. And you're saying that's what happened?
That's what happened. And in that case, what in the trying to
Did
get
they decline to prosecute? Is that what happened? State's attorneys?
No. What for Florida, what you can do is you can take him to court for stalking, and if you win the stalking case, he has to stay away from you.
Sure.
And like I said, he got a lawyer, and they got the deputy to flip, and they threw out the case. So that's what opened my eyes.
You're saying the deputy, he wasn't truthful?
Oh, no,
okay.
Absolutely not.
You say flipped. Okay, yeah, just wanted to get clarification on that. So what are issues that you would say are most important to you? What is it you stand up for?
What do I stand up for?
Yeah, what are issues that are important to you?
Issues that are important to me, freedom. I'm a libertarian constitutionalist, and stopping corruption, exposing corruption, and sadly, where I live, it feels like a police state. I'm 58. I'm from Michigan. I was in high school in the 80s. I remember what freedom was like. I used to smoke pot, speeders, acid. I used to sell a little bit, and it wasn't a big deal. And now, as you know, especially here, everything's illegal. It's really bad.
Yeah. Well, I just think you answered perhaps a question that maybe a lot of people wondered. So you said you're a libertarian constitutionalist, if I heard that right?
That's correct. So
you wouldn't identify as Republican or Democrat?
Right now, I'm registered as a Republican because I don't know if Shaun mentioned, I started Cop Watch for Charlotte County 10 years ago, exposing everything online, every platform you can think of. So I had to keep my Republican ticket and or card, because when I would go to Republican meetings, they know who I am, and apparently they don't like what I do all the time. So they literally would make me show my papers.
So for the people who are unaware, talk about the city of Punta Gorda, Florida. What's it like?
It's a
Okay.
small city. There's a crap load of money here. So the city of Punta Gorda is like 25,000 people. It's inside the county of Charlotte, and this is where tons of retirees come to retire, and a ton of them are government, police, sheriff, FBI, CIA, you name it. They are here. Me and my wife have a house cleaning company, so we work for these people. We know what they do, and they did well. They work for the government. Hello. So,
Right.
And so what's happening here is, I believe, you have all these government people coming down here, ex-employees that think government's great because, they got what they got. I mean, they got pensions that we could only dream of. Do you get what I'm saying on that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Sure
it's
do.
real.
Mm-hmm.
Regular companies do not do pensions like the government, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah. I mean, I've never worked for the government. I couldn't independently confirm that, but so I'm told. So I'm told. Turning to some of your activism, a while back, I am under the impression that you were cited 21 times for using explicit language in public. Tell me about that. What were you cited with, and what did they claim you were violating under the law?
So that's an interesting question. So it started during the Trump election. This past time that he lost,
the 2020 election.
Yes.
Okay.
So and what was happening is a lot of people didn't want Biden, so they were making the F Biden flags, which I'm sure you've seen. Shaun Porter,
Yes,
Ron
sir.
Gazi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I did the same thing here. And this is what's weird. You could do that against Trump. There was F Trump flags, but apparently the minute they saw the F Biden flag, they said that's illegal, and they literally made it illegal. Any word that they did not like, and they would never tell us what words they were, by the way. We asked, and the F word, and they that they could ticket me for that. So I fought that, and the tip that you got on 21 tickets. So this is what happened. I was fighting it, the ban on free speech. So I got 8 tickets in total for that, for the ban on free speech. The other tickets that the tipster was telling you about is that another way that they were trying to kill free press and free speech was they literally banned filming public officials in a government office. So that's where a bunch of tickets came from too. So I would go into poll records with the body camera. I was hands-free, and I would literally get trespassed from every building and city of Punta Gorda and Charlotte County. Some of the other tickets, like I said, were free speech. Some of the other tickets were for sound. There is no sound ordinance here, but in some of my protests, I was doing music, with my protests, and they, even though it's not illegal, they gave me tickets for that.
So some of this was language, and some of it was signage.
Some of that was language, signage,
and going to public buildings and saying things, or
going into public buildings, like I said, some of those tickets were for, they would trespass me because they banned filming of public officials in a government office in a public area.
And that sounds unconstitutional just on its face, but we'll get to that in a minute. So what was the law they said you were violating? There has to be a statute.
Yeah.
There has to be a Florida criminal statute book.
That's what's interesting. Guess what? They didn't do it with the law. They didn't do it with the statute. They did it with an ordinance. In Florida, they're allowed to, yes, in Florida, they're allowed to do a local ordinance. And you know what they literally said? They literally said this stands. They knew it was illegal until somebody contested it. So they literally knew they were violating the law but they wanted to do it as long as they could until I could finally find a lawyer to contest it, which I did.
What was the penalty for these 21? How many citations? Like, what's the penalty? Was it a
So
fine?
thank you for asking, by the way. By the way, it got so bad, my lawyers told me I had to redact my signs after 8 tickets. I literally had to put an X over the U on the F word. So here's why we didn't think it was a big deal in the beginning. It was supposed to be a warning. Then the second offense is $100. Third offense is $200. Now, when you pass an ordinance in Florida, you have the right to appeal it. Here's the problem that we didn't know. You can appeal it to, you ever heard of Code Enforcement Court?
Code Enforcement Court.
Oh,
I'm not sure if we have that in Maryland. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure if we have that in Maryland, but roughly.
Here we call it kangaroo court because it's 7 rich white people from your neighborhood that are not lawyers that act as your judge and jury. And it gets worse than that. They do not allow the Constitution there. Honest to God, we got it on video.
Wow, that sounds insane.
Tyrannical.
Okay,
so then sadly,
what legal jurisdiction do they have over you though? Over that matter? They have legal jurisdiction over issues? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, they do. So
wow.
So if you don't appeal it, you got to pay the fine. And I'm not going to pay the fine because it's free speech. So Levi, here's where it gets worse. You think that's bad? Here's where it gets worse. We did not know in the statute for ordinances for the cities that if you do irreparable harm, like damage, they were claiming that these bad words were hurting kids under 17's brain. So if you do irreparable harm, they can fine you up to $5,000 per ticket.
Wow.
So for the first
disgusting. Go ahead.
Yes, it is. For the first 4 tickets, I got Rutherford Institute out of Washington, D.C., which I'm sure you've heard of. They were my lawyer for that. So for the first ticket, instead of 5,000, they brought it down to 1,000. And then all the tickets after that, the other 3 tickets, they had 4 tickets in court that day. It was total circus, man. It was 3 hours of insanity.
And this is the kangaroo court doing this to you.
Yes, and they did not allow the Constitution. Honest to God.
That's insane. What is the status of these citations? Has there been a resolution on this issue?
Yeah. So here's what happened. So they gave 500 for all the other ones. So then we appealed. You can appeal to state court, which is real court, our county court.
Right. That's right.
It took a while, but we finally got our hearing date. And of course, we won the appeal because and I know that's free speech. So, but I don't know if your little bird told you on the tipster. On my 8th ticket, I was doing a laser for free speech on a government building.
That's right.
And, a laser projector, and I was doing, basically F everybody. I was trying to offend everybody. Okay, so that one I got a different lawyer.
You're an equal opportunity offender.
That is correct. So that one I got a different lawyer at the same time as state court's going on, and we went straight to federal. And because they settled in state court, they settled the federal one out of court. And the moral of the story, all the tickets are gone. All the fines are gone. By the way, they put a lien on my house for those tickets.
Yeah. I'm sure that I would get to that. I bet you they will do that.
Yes.
You think you own your property? Think again.
That's right. Quit paying your tax and see what happens.
Right. Exactly.
So anyways, all the tickets are gone. The ordinance is also gone. We won the federal case. We settled for $21,000. I got $1,000. The lawyers got 20 grand. And so that's where that is right now.
Okay. And so I want to turn to the fact that you recently had a legal victory suing the city of Punta Gorda over the fact that, from what I understand, and I have it written here, you were charged with some sort of local violations stemming from June of 2021, in which you wore T-shirts with explicit language on them Tell me about that legal recent victory and how it came to be that you got into that fight.
Okay, so that the one that you're talking about is exactly what I told you about, that we did win that.
Okay.
So I think what he meant by that, your tipster, is this is what happened because so the story I just told you about Kangaroo Court and we won and
Yeah.
all that.
Was that about the t-shirts?
Yeah, that was a t-shirt. So
Gotcha.
but this is the part that I think that tipster was telling you. Since I sued them twice and won, I was protesting on a sidewalk in front of a school, and which is legal.
Yeah.
And because I did that, they turned that one into a crime. We pulled records on that, and the city manager talked to the police talked to the state attorney. They said, how do we stop him? And they literally said, if we get enough people to complain, we'll turn it into a crime, Levi. And they did.
Oh.
They charged me with disturbing the peace, messing with administrative duties. Levi, I can't believe it. We lost that case. 30 days in jail for free speech on a sidewalk.
You're kidding me.
I am dead serious.
Because it had to do with, you think there was school-age children involved in that factor?
That is what they're claiming. Here's what's interesting, Levi.
How does that factor into the free speech law? Like, I don't.
Okay, so what happened is I was still doing the free speech thing, while all the court stuff was going on. I was redacted, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, to pay me back, they made it into a crime. They arrested me. And here's what's interesting. A lot of people did say, it's because I was at a school. Levi, I was at the exit of the school in the morning when they already dropped off the kids. So I was there for parents. I was protesting the ban, on free speech. And I was there for the parents, and I was protesting our schools down here, because if you saw our schools down here, Levi, they're like jails and prisons. They got fences all the way around. They got barbed wire, cops, dogs. It's really sad.
I want to ask you about something that I've been hearing about, but I don't think there has been a lot of information reported about this publicly yet. I understand that you are preparing some sort of $30 million lawsuit against a Florida judge for what you allege is civil rights violations. What can you tell us about that at this moment, if anything?
Okay, so yeah, that's actually, if anybody wants to look it up, it's Sheets versus Bell. That's already been in federal court for, I think, 5 months now.
Mm-hmm. You filed it already.
Oh, it's already filed.
Really? Okay. Okay.
So
Good.
Levi, it sounds like you're libertarian too, and so and I know a cop, a prosecutor, and a judge loses qualified immunity if they knowingly violate the Constitution and state statutes. Agree or disagree?
Right. Yeah. Right.
So yeah, if you saw the case, and like I said, I just told you what it is. I can send you the link later too. Open that case on Pacer, look at all the, actually, you just search it online, you'll find it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all the evidence. I mean, here's what's crazy. So this is where it's at right now. They're trying to dismiss it. I wanted to get discovery so I can fight the dismissal, because and I know that, exactly what they said. Judge has, godlike qualified immunity, which, as we just discussed, no, they do not. If they knowingly violate the Constitution, which he did,
mm-hmm.
and the state constitution, because the state constitution says we have free speech too, you lose qualified immunity. So I put everything I had in that case. And like I said, I already have the email where the city manager talked to the police talked to the state attorney, and they said, all we got to, let's find enough people to complain. That is not free speech. And I know you cannot make free speech into a crime, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. Right.
So I did not finish. So here's where the case is right now. So they put it on hold, and the reason why I think they put it on hold because they kept saying, I'm still in court for that. For the disturbing the peace. I'm still on probation. I'm still in court.
Mm-hmm.
So they said that they're basically saying in the federal case that we cannot proceed with the federal case because he's still involved in the state case. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. So here's what's crazy. We did file the motion to recuse twice. He would not get off the case. And then finally, out of the blue, a couple weeks ago, he recused himself finally. So we think he did that so the case could proceed and get motion to dismiss. Sadly, I never got a chance to get my discovery. Dude, if I could get discovery, I could prove it all day long. I forgot to tell you, one reason why they get away with what they do here, Levi, is do you have any idea how much it costs to appeal a case like this? On my
Well, you have to hire an appellate lawyer. That's number one. And those, that's probably double what a standard state attorney costs. So
very good. And it's worth, Levi, it's worse than that. If you want a good one for appeals lawyer, it's 12 grand.
What, just to get the case started?
Just to file the appeal and to get a good appeals lawyer, 12 grand to get it into appeals court. So say a prayer on May 18th, 9 a.m. in the morning in Florida, 6th District Court. We finally get our appeal.
Okay.
And by the way, you can record that. That is an open meeting on their website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I will send you that information too. We'll exchange emails later.
Yeah.
But so we get 20 minutes. The other side gets 20 minutes. And of course, and I know we should win because it should have never happened.
Right. And this is all this all relates back to the fact that you were near that school doing this protest. Where were you specifically? I know you told me you were on a sidewalk, right? Is that correct? You were on the sidewalk?
Okay, the street, there's a street in front of the school, and then the sidewalks next to the street, and then the school. So, they got a fence. So I'm on a sidewalk and totally legal.
Right.
Totally, and I know that's like the
I know. No, it doesn't matter if you're 1 inch from the, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're 1 inch.
Well, no. I knew to stay on that sidewalk. So yeah, totally legal. And they made it into a crime. And what's really crazy is that sentencing, what the judge said? Tell me if you can catch this, what he said. He goes, you can't protest there, but you can protest anywhere else. What did he just admit?
He just admit you could protest anywhere.
That is correct. Thank you. Very good.
Oh, I know.
Correct. We have that audio. We have that audio.
Wow. Was there some sort of misunderstanding as to the place your feet were?
Nope. Like I said, we cannot believe that, like I said, my lawyer was so shocked. He literally just, kept asking for motion to dismiss because he saw the train coming and they weren't going to let me off. What I forgot to tell you, Levi, this is what's even more crazy. Everything I do, Levi, I have 2 body cameras running. One of my right here. Yeah. It's on me, and the other one would be on the sign. So this is all on video. During the trial, they only showed 1 second, maybe 3 seconds of the lady with the bullhorn, and then she was with her husband. 3 seconds of the guy with the bullhorn, but they wouldn't show the whole video. Do you know why? Because it would show that I'm not guilty. It was disgusting.
Well, obviously, a prosecutor, and again, I wasn't there at the trial. I don't know, but a prosecutor, just in general theory, is not going to show something
that would help me. That is correct.
That would take away from his case. I mean, we know that you're not going to do that. It's a game. It's a tug of war game.
Yes, it is.
So your defense was not allowed, or why didn't they present that video? What limited them from doing that? Was there like a motion in limine to exclude a majority of the video? Why didn't that come in play on behalf of the defense?
That's funny that you say that. Sadly, my lawyer was not prepared like he should have been, because he's old. He used to be really, really good. And he did not research all the case law for free speech. He didn't even look at all the evidence, Levi. Levi, he didn't even know, and I told him that I had it, that I had the video from my own body camera. When he heard the bullhorns, he's like, whose camera is it? I'm like, that's mine. I already told you that. he literally flipped out on me in court. I could not, I'm like, dude, you didn't know this? I've been telling you this forever. I have evidence of my, of not being guilty of anything. And that's when he kind of gave up. And like I said, he just kept filing motion to dismiss. It didn't happen, and I was crucified.
So you think that there is, though, a good shot that you could beat this whole situation on appeal. So basically the appeals court could step in and say,
Yes.
just on the merits
Yes.
of the case, just
Yes.
on this statute that's being put forth and the
Correct.
evidence in this case, they don't communicate with each other. Therefore, there's no crime. A crime hasn't been committed, essentially.
That's correct. And you cannot turn free speech into a
With
crime. You cannot.
Right. No,
And
I
they
know.
did.
Right.
And they absolutely did. And
Right.
what's sad is, there's a lot of people that are involved. Like I said, the city manager, the police, the state attorney. I believe the judge, the judge isn't supposed to know ahead of time, but I think he knew ahead of time. He was in on it, and it was a railroad. It was a train.
Mhm.
And like I said, he finally got off a couple weeks ago. And so I got a new judge. I've never been in front of this new judge. I haven't been in trouble for freaking 30 years. I'm 58. I can't believe this is happening. When I was a kid, I deserved it. I was doing drugs, alcohol, and stealing car stereos. I deserved it. So
Yeah.
yeah, the new judge we got, some people that I know him, and they think, yeah, that it should hopefully go, better with this new judge, because yeah.
Right. And it's what's crazy is a case like this. This is a kind of case. These are the type of cases, I should say,
Right.
that so often you see go to the Supreme Court of the United States. And then what happens when they get to the Supreme Court? They flip. Every other lower court gets it wrong. It goes to the Supreme Court of the United States, and
Right.
it flips.
In this case,
about
it should be done in the 6th
Right.
district, because like I said,
Yeah.
we got the video evidence of it. Like you
Right.
said, the state attorney's not going to let the video evidence be seen because he wants to win. So
Right.
he knows it shows me that I was the victim. And so we did submit that video evidence to the 6th district court. And then of course too, like I said, you can't turn free speech into a crime, especially on a sidewalk, especially when your judge tells you you can't protest there, but you can protest anywhere else. I mean, Levi, I protested all over Florida. I mean, all over Punta Gorda, all over Charlotte County. And I didn't get hemmed up until I went to a school where some parents lost their minds. That's not right.
And I think all evidence should be considered as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
There should be
Absolutely.
nothing in a trial that a jury or a judge doesn't see, especially
That-
if there's video. That almost sounds negligent to me as an attorney.
That's
It almost
funny
sounds
that
negligent.
well, actually, yes, my attorney did a lot of stuff that's not right.
Well, I'm not even talking about your attorney. I'm talking about all the attorneys. There are many officers of the court when you get inside a courtroom. I'm just saying
That's
there should be
true.
a concept. If you have a video of the entire crime,
That's
play
true.
it.
And they did not. All they did is 3 seconds of the bullhorn for him, 3 seconds of the bullhorn for her. And again, like I said, even they weren't violating the law. They were legally protesting against me with the bullhorn. They have no sound ordinance here. Levi, if you heard the court hearing, you would puke. It was so bad, really bad.
So I guess this is a good place to wrap this up. But I did want to conclude by asking what your relationship is like with Shaun Porter. I understand like you do a little bit of perhaps video editing for him, audio editing, something like that. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, if he needs help with that, he's not as high. I've been doing this a long time, so yeah, I can chop audio, video. He also brought me up to Washington. We did some protests up there. It was awesome.
Andy Sheets, thank you
Yes.
very much for taking your time to do this interview, tell your side of the story. It's very much appreciated, and it was very informative. So thank you for that.
Thank you for having me on.